Brothers and sisters, let's pause and think about something very real. Why is it that two people, sometimes from the same family, same background, even the same school, end up walking completely different paths? One grows into a person of honesty, kindness, and integrity, while the other chooses lying, selfishness, and even cruelty. This question isn't just philosophy, it's about life. Understanding why people do right and why others do wrong helps us not only understand the world around us, but also protect ourselves from slipping. Today, in this first part of our series, we'll explore the roots of this difference. Each of us is born with two poles inside, a pull toward goodness, things like honesty, mercy, and justice, and a pull toward selfish desires. It's like two voices inside us, one says, do the right thing, and the other whispers, take the shortcut. Nobody will notice. The truth is, whichever voice we feed becomes stronger. If you train yourself to listen to the call of goodness, it grows. But if you ignore it and give in to temptation over and over, the darker voice becomes louder. So the first difference between people who do right and those who do wrong is which side they allow to grow inside them. Think about this: when someone knows the consequences of their actions, they pause before doing wrong. Knowledge acts like a light in the dark. But when knowledge is weak, or when people ignore wisdom, it's easy to be deceived. They chase quick benefits, forgetting that every choice has a weight. That's why you can have two people in the same situation: one remembers accountability, responsibility, and truth. The other shrugs and says, it doesn't matter. Knowledge, real awareness, shapes the path we choose. None of us live in isolation. Our surroundings deeply influence us. If a person grows up in an environment where lying, cheating, or disrespect are normal, doing wrong becomes easier. On the other hand, being surrounded by people who value honesty, prayer, kindness, and fairness strengthens us. It gives us courage to resist temptation. So sometimes, the reason one person does right and the other does wrong is simply the company they keep and the culture they absorb. Let's be honest, wrong often looks easier. It promises quick money, quick pleasure, quick escape. Right choices usually demand patience, sacrifice, and discipline. For example, it's easier to lie to escape blame than to admit fault. Easier to cheat than to work hard. But easy doesn't mean better, it usually leads to regret. The difference here is patience. Some people are willing to wait for lasting reward, while others grab whatever they can in the moment, even if it costs their integrity. Deep down, we all have a built-in moral compass. When we lie, cheat, or hurt someone, we feel that little sting inside our conscience speaking. But here's the key: if we ignore that voice too many times, it weakens. A person can reach a point where they don't feel guilt anymore. Meanwhile, someone who listens to their conscience regularly sharpens it. They become more sensitive, more alert to what's right. That's why two people can commit the same act, one loses sleep over it, while the other feels nothing. At the end of the day, every individual is responsible for their choices. Yes, environment matters. Desires matter. Influences matter. But none of these forces completely control us. People do wrong because, in the moment, they choose to silence the reminders, ignore the consequences, and convince themselves it's fine. People who do right constantly remind themselves, this matters. My actions define me. Even if no one sees me, I know, and my Creator knows. So, why do some people do right and others do wrong? In this first part, we've learned it's about the battle inside us and which voice we feed, the light of knowledge and whether we use it, the influence of our environment and company, the temptation of quick rewards versus the patience for long-term gains, the strength or weakness of our conscience. In the next part, we'll dive even deeper into the spiritual side, how reminders, discipline, and accountability to our Creator shape our choices even more powerfully. For now, reflect on this: which voice are you feeding inside yourself? What kind of environment are you surrounding yourself with? Because every small choice adds up towards becoming the person who consistently does right, or the one who keeps falling into wrong. That brings us to the end of part 1 of why some people do right and others do wrong. My brothers and sisters, if you benefited from today's reminder, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with your family, your friends, and anyone who might need that little push toward choosing what's right. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with your reflections. Which part spoke to you the most? What struggles do you see people facing between right and wrong? Before you go, make sure you subscribe to AkhirahTV2 and turn on the notifications so you don't miss part 2 of this series and many more reminders to come. Until next time, may your heart stay guided, your actions be sincere, and may we all be counted among those who choose right over